USB Type-A. This is the rectangle you already know. It's the flat, slightly wide connector on nearly every computer since the late 90s. You'll find it on PCs, laptops, charger bricks, game consoles and TVs. Its job is being the host side of every USB connection. Your computer talks to the outside world through Type-A. Think of it as the front door of your house. Everything visits through it. Here's the thing though, Type-A is just a shape. It can carry USB 2.0 speeds or USB 3.0 speeds. Blue plastic inside usually means 3.0, black usually means 2.0. But manufacturers don't always follow the color rules. If you're buying a new PC, count your Type-A ports. 4 is comfortable. 2 feels cramped fast. The biggest myth about Type-A is that orientation doesn't matter. It absolutely does. There's one correct way. You just have a legendary 50-50 shot at getting it wrong. Every single time. Nobody fixed it for 20 years. USB Type-B. This is the chunky, almost square connector you've seen plugged into a printer. It's taller than it is wide, with beveled top corners. Most people never think about Type-B until they unbox a new printer and stare at the cable in confusion. Its job is being the device side of the connection. Your PC has Type-A. The printer has Type-B. Data flows between them. Think of Type-A as the wall outlet and Type-B as the plug on the appliance. Speed-wise, most Type-B devices run USB 2.0. That's 480 megabits per second. Plenty for sending a document to print. A USB 3.0 version exists with a weird extra bump on top. You'll spot it on some external hard drives and audio interfaces. Unless you're buying one of those right now, you don't need to think about Type-B. It's a fading connector. The myth is that it's completely dead. It's not quite. Your office printer would like a word. Mini USB. Remember those chunky MP3 players from the mid-2000s? They used this connector. Mini USB is a smaller version of Type-B, shaped like a tiny trapezoid. It showed up on digital cameras, GPS units, and early portable hard drives. Its whole reason for existing was size. Regular Type-B was too bulky for pocket-sized gadgets. Mini USB shrank things down so your devices could stay portable, like trading a minivan for a hatchback. Same job, way less parking hassle. Most mini USB devices ran at USB 2.0 speeds. That 480 megabits per second was fine for transferring vacation photos, but feels ancient now. You basically don't need mini USB anymore. If you find one in a drawer, it's for a device you forgot you owned. The common mistake is confusing mini with micro USB. They look similar at a glance. Mini is wider and thicker. Micro is thinner and flatter. If you're forcing the plug, you grab the wrong cable. Micro USB. For nearly a decade, this was the phone cable. Micro USB is a thin, flat connector, even smaller than mini. It lived on every Android phone, Bluetooth speaker, and e-reader from roughly 2007 through 2020. Its job was simple: charge devices, sync data. When the EU pushed for one universal phone charger, micro USB won the crown. It became the default for basically everything that wasn't an iPhone. Think of it as the universal TV remote of cables. Not perfect, but it worked with almost everything in the house. Speed-wise, nearly all micro USB devices ran USB 2.0. A USB 3.0 micro variant existed with a wider, uglier plug that nobody loved. For buying decisions today, micro USB is on its way out. Budget earbuds and cheap accessories still use it. If you're choosing between two products and one has USB-C, pick that one. The myth is that micro USB cables are fragile. The cable is usually fine. It's the tiny port inside your device that breaks. That little retention tab snaps over time. Blame the port, not the plug. USB Type-C. This is the connector that's supposed to fix everything. Type-C is a small, oval, reversible plug. No wrong way to insert it. Instantly better than 20 years of Type-A fumbling. You'll find it on modern phones, laptops, tablets, the Nintendo Switch, and even some monitors. Its job goes way beyond charging. Type-C can carry data, video, audio, and power through one single cable. It's a highway with dedicated lanes for completely different kinds of traffic. But here's where people get tripped up. Type-C is just a shape. The actual speed and features depend on the protocol running through it. A USB-C cable might carry USB 2.0, USB 3.2, USB 4, or Thunderbolt. You cannot tell by looking. When buying USB-C cables, always check what they actually support. A cheap $5 cable might only handle USB 2.0 speeds. That matters a lot if you're plugging in an external SSD. The biggest myth is that all USB-C cables are the same. They are absolutely not. Same shape, wildly different capabilities. Always check the spec. USB 2.0. This is the speed standard that made USB mainstream. USB 2.0 arrived in 2000 with a maximum speed of 480 megabits per second. The official branding calls it high speed. Before 2.0, the original USB 1.1 topped out at just 12 megabits. So 2.0 was a massive leap. Like going from a dirt road to a proper two-lane highway. Suddenly external hard drives, webcams and printers made real sense over USB. The number that matters is that 480 megabits per second. In practice, you'd see closer to 280 or 300. Still perfectly fine for keyboards, mice, and basic peripherals. USB 2.0 is everywhere today. Your mouse probably uses it right now. Your keyboard almost certainly does. For input devices, 2.0 is more than enough. Don't overpay for a USB 3.0 keyboard cable. The common mistake is thinking USB 2.0 is totally useless. It's not. For a mouse, it's overkill. It only falls short when you need to move big files fast. That's where the next generation comes in. USB 3.0. Here's where the naming becomes an actual crime scene. USB 3.0 debuted in 2008, offering 5 gigabits per second, 10 times faster than 2.0. Great start. Then the USB-IF, the organization responsible for naming, decided to ruin everything. USB 3.0 got renamed to USB 3.1 Gen 1. Then USB 3.1 Gen 2 arrived at 10 gigabits per second. Then 3.2 showed up and everything got renamed again. USB 3.1 Gen 2 became USB 3.2 Gen 2. And they added USB 3.2 Gen 2x2 at 20 gigabits per second. It's like renaming your street 3 times and expecting the pizza delivery driver to still find your house. The speeds that actually matter are 5, 10, and 20 gigabits per second. Ignore the generation labels entirely. When buying anything, look for the speed number, not the version name. The biggest mistake people make is thinking USB 3.0 and USB 3.2 Gen 1 are different. They're identical, same speed, just renamed to confuse everyone. If you remember one thing from this video, make it that. Drop a comment if that naming mess made your head spin. You are not alone. USB 4. The newest standard in the USB family. USB 4 launched in 2019 with speeds up to 40 gigabits per second. The updated USB 4 version 2.0 doubles that to 80 gigabits per second. USB 4 only works with Type-C connectors. No more Type-A. No more guessing which end goes where. Its big promise is simplicity. One connector, one standard, fast enough for almost anything. Think of it as USB finally growing up and getting its life together. USB 4 also supports tunneling. That means it can carry DisplayPort and PCIe signals through the same cable. You can drive an external monitor or even an eGPU from one USB 4 port. The key spec is bandwidth. 40 gigabits per second handles most needs. 80 gigabits per second is for power users with docking stations and multiple displays. If you're shopping for a new laptop, USB 4 ports are a strong sign it's future-proof. The myth is that USB 4 and Thunderbolt are the same thing. They share a lot of DNA but aren't twins. USB 4 borrows from Thunderbolt 3's architecture. Thunderbolt carries its own certification and feature guarantees. Close cousins, not clones. Thunderbolt. Technically not USB at all, but it lives on the same Type-C connector, so it belongs here. Thunderbolt was developed by Intel and Apple. The latest versions, Thunderbolt 4 and Thunderbolt 5, use USB-C ports. You literally cannot tell them apart by staring at the hole. Thunderbolt's whole identity is being the overachiever. It guarantees high-speed data, video output, device charging, and daisy-chaining multiple devices from one port. It's USB-C that went to private school and came back with a certificate. Thunderbolt 4 guarantees 40 gigabits per second. Thunderbolt 5 hits 80 gigabits per second with a burst mode reaching 120 gigabits per second for video. The spec that matters most is the guaranteed minimum. Regular USB 4 can be as low as 20 gigabits per second. Thunderbolt 4 is always 40. You're paying for that consistency. If you're a creative pro running multiple monitors and external storage, Thunderbolt earns its premium. For everyone else, USB 4 gets the job done. The myth is that you need Thunderbolt for fast file transfers. You don't. USB 4 at 40 gigabits per second matches Thunderbolt 4's speed exactly. You're paying for guaranteed features, not just raw bandwidth. USB power delivery. This one isn't a connector or a speed standard. It's a charging protocol. USB power delivery, PD for short, lets your devices negotiate how much power flows through a USB-C cable. Without PD, a standard USB port puts out about 5 watts. With PD, you can push up to 240 watts. That's enough to charge a full gaming laptop. It's like upgrading from a garden hose to a fire hydrant, except both sides politely agree on the pressure first. The number that matters here is wattage. Phones typically need 18 to 25 watts. Laptops usually want 45 to 100. Check that your charger and cable both support what your device actually needs. When buying a charger, look for USB PD certification. One good PD charger can replace 3 or 4 device-specific power bricks. Your travel bag will thank you. The common mistake is assuming every USB-C charger supports power delivery. Many cheap ones don't. They skip PD entirely. If your laptop charges painfully slowly from a random USB-C brick, the lack of proper PD support is probably why. So there it is. From the Type A rectangle you still can't plug in correctly to Type C, doing everything through one tiny oval. From USB 3.0's naming catastrophe getting worse with every rebrand, to USB 4 and Thunderbolt quietly building the future. USB started as a way to plug in a keyboard. Now it carries data, video, and enough power to run a laptop. 20+ years of cables, confusion, and one slow march toward a single port to rule them all. What's the oldest USB device still in active duty at your house? I want to hear about it in the comments. If this video helped untangle the confusion, smash that like button. It genuinely helps the channel grow. Next up, I'm breaking down every display cable explained. HDMI, DisplayPort, VGA, and the whole tangled mess behind your monitor. Click the video on screen right now.